Okay. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes the baby and the baby carriage. A rhyme that most of us probably have heard before, and something that I thought was always true when it comes to relationships. My parents celebrated their 30th year anniversary this past October. That's a long time. And they were high school sweethearts, went to prom together, graduated high school together. My dad followed my mom to college, and they started a family, AKA had me. And I believe that my parents are the true testimony of what true love is and what commitment is all about. They represent what dating once was. So today I'll be talking about dating and dating then versus now, and online dating and how dating has changed over time. It seems like in today's society, people aren't able to commit anymore, and committing in a relationship is something that's so uncommon. We go through this phase called talking, and I'm sure that most of our generation knows exactly what I'm talking about, even in this class. You don't date anyone anymore, you talk to someone, and you talk to someone for months and months, and it usually ends up not going anywhere, and you're pretty much wasting each other's time ultimately. According to Odyssey Online article, Dating Then versus Dating Now, talking to someone is a lazy way to say you're interested in mildly trying to form a relationship. And I believe this to be so true. When you're talking to someone, you're still able to reap the benefits of being in a relationship without actually committing to one. Dating back in the day consisted of a guy and a girl talking and getting to know one another. The guy typically asking a girl on a date, and then going out, having a good time, bringing flowers to the door, blah, 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 all the cute stuff. Today, you can swipe left or swipe right as many times as you want and shoot a simple emoji to show interest, or, do a DM. There's always that too. And that's an easy way to show interest. Snapchat and Instagram likes have become acceptable as the forms of flirting. People don't even give a normal compliment anymore. People use, once again, sliding into DMs and liking pictures and double tapping just to show that you're interested. Date night has evolved from going out to dinner and playing mini golf and being able to do something that's actually thoughtful, that shows that you're really caring and thinking about what the other person likes to do. Instead, it's Netflix and chill, and it's ordering pizza. Because of the new wave of dating, people have turned to online. According to the Huffington Post, the real problem is that women, for one reason, have become complacent and allowed men to get away with adhering the bare minimum, which I believe to be very true. According to Pew Research Center today, 15% of U.S. adults report that they have used online dating sites. Personally, I have not used online dating sites, but most of my friends actually have, and I can probably count on one hand and not even use my whole hand to say how many relationships they've been in because of apps or online dating apps. They typically just don't seem to last. According to the DMR stats, Tinder has been downloaded 100 million times with 26 million swipes made daily. That's a lot of swipes and a lot of potential relationships that you're just swiping left and right. Online dating sites and apps have changed how we interact with people, ultimately changing how we date today. We live in such a fast-paced society where all we want is instant gratification, and instant gratification has become more important than ever before. The never-ending possibilities of profiles and that you're constantly searching for the next best thing. Which goes back into commitment. There's so many people out there that we can swipe left and swipe right, and we're so used to seeing so many different profiles and different kinds of people. We think, man, there's so many people out in this world that we could possibly date, and on the newest dating platforms. Because of this, we can sometimes be blinded by what is real and what is genuine. When you hear the word catfish, what's the first thing to pop in your mind? Years ago, you probably would... You're just gonna wait. Okay, When you hear the word catfish, what's the first thing to pop in your mind? Years ago, you probably would have said a catfish, like a legit catfish, but in 2016, one can only help but to think of the hit MTV show, Catfish. Catfish is a term that is also a term from the Webster Dictionary to describe someone who lures people into online dating by using a fake profile. You got catfished is a term that we've all come accustomed to, mainly because of the hit TV show. This show was designed to show the truth, lies, and dangers of online dating. Online dating does have its positive benefits as well, but many people are turning to these sites to find true love, which can ultimately be a problem. People are losing sight of what it means to communicate face-to-face with someone and how to really date. Online dating allows you to be anyone you want to be. Though through dating via internet, you aren't able to know someone's true character or mannerisms because you're not communicating in person. The online dating world seems to carry promises that reality simply can't compete with. According to Forbes.com, as of March 1st, 2013, there were more than 2,500 online dating services, and each year over 1,000 more open up. A few common ones are Tinder, Bumble, which is a dating app that girls have to respond first, Match, eHarmony, and Grindr. Yeah. According to the article Online Dating Technology and Interpersonal Relationships by Santa Clara University, as the number of dating platforms rise, social relations and self-expressions will fade. The classic motions of simple dating aren't expected anymore. In conclusion, we should take the time to treat each other with respect and love one another and be able to communicate face to face, because that's something that we're all missing in today's generation. We aren't able to have a full-length conversation anymore. We aren't able to take someone out and really show that we appreciate them. And that is why long-lasting relationships aren't the same anymore and aren't lasting as long. I only hope that we're able to communicate with one another and hopefully be able to have a long-lasting relationship like my parents that have been together for 30 years. Thank you.
Sounds like trying to be like,
No, I know. I work with every night you get it with me, so they all
it's literally just like Tinder, except like those people that are just like, oh, I'm not your friend, which they're all there.
All right, Rudy, what did you think?
Well, I thought her topic was very relatable, and like her tone and mannerisms were great, and she cited her research well, and also like, yeah, she projected it in a good tone, and yeah, pretty good speech.
Well, I think it's an interesting topic. I like the way you introduced the subject. The setup in the preview, though, is all very ambiguous. It makes it sound like it's an informative speech. During the speech, though, I do think you have a persuasive point of view. You have an argument that, in essence, says that the current way in which people are meeting and interacting with each other online is going to lead to unsatisfying relationships and perhaps even a decline in long-term relationships. So there is kind of a cause-effect argument that's being presented here. I do think that you need a little bit more data to substantiate that. If we had information, for instance, about the frequency of relationships that people have, you mentioned the idea that we're talking rather than dating, and I don't know exactly what it is. I mean, you seem to think that everybody else knows what it is that's going on. I need some example. I get the impression that it's mostly that people are just, doing online chatting kinds of stuff as opposed to actually meeting and engaging in some sort of activity. I don't know that that's exactly what you're talking about, but that's part of the problem, and I think it needs to be explained a little bit more. If there's some way to document this instead of making it a presupposition, I think that the argument would be stronger. That was the thing that I had the most problem with in your speech, is that there's a lot of these kinds of things that you say that I think you take as a given without demonstrating that they're true. I'm not sure that they aren't true. I'm just not sure that you've convinced me that they're true, and I think we need a little bit more information on that. I did like the quote that you had toward the end from the Santa Clara professors that were doing the research on this, that suggested as the platforms increase, the likelihood that our relationships are going to be more superficial also increases. I think that you needed more information like that to support your point. It's pretty well organized internally. I did think that you had a couple of places where the information's going on. You had information about the number of people who are on these platforms early on. I think it would be helpful to, well, do we get long-term relationships from those things? Every time I see one of those ads for Match or eHarmony, they're talking about how many people are getting married and, farmers only, it's all life and happiness out there. And I'm going, well, damn, this looks pretty damn good. And you're suggesting that it's not that good. And I'm just going, well, I can see where the controversy is. Where's the proof for your argument? You do a nice job presenting it, though. All right, thank you.